So I know it's been a while since I've done any sort of DIY project, and it's been even longer since I've done anything with my Raspberry Pi navigation unit, and I'm sorry, it's just been mostly due to the fact that I don't have a for sure system to where I can power the Raspberry Pi and not get my SD card corrupted due to power loss or anything of that nature. So I'm still working on it, still trying to figure out a solution, but in the meantime, I thought I would revisit something I said in a previous video about the wiring that came out of the old head unit. And it was about the RGB and C sync signals that I was alluding to before about how they could be possibly video signals. And why I say that is because we have an R, G, and a B signal wires. We also have a C. I don't fully know, but what I'm really seeing is an R, a G, a B, and a ground. To me, that signifies this is RGB component of some nature video signal being sent to this display unit, and it's basically acting as a monitor. The nav unit has the graphics card in it that is telling this display unit what to show. And of course, it's touchscreen, so it has to send information back to the nav unit about, what is it doing, where do they touch and whatnot. However, I cannot find anything to try and use this, because obviously there's RGB, and then there's the C signal, which maybe it's some sort of sync signal. That's something I can think of. I don't know why it's a C, and then ground, and then there's also this shielded ground, I think, because it's another signal. I just don't fully know what this could all be. So with that, I was sort of on the right track, it seemed. I was right in the fact that it was an RGB component style signal with a C that could possibly be a sync signal. And at the time I didn't put it together because I was aware of what VGA was. And I knew that's why, I knew VGA had the RGB signals, and then it also had a vertical and horizontal sync signal, which is where it confused me because there was no horizontal or vertical sync signal that really I could decipher from this. It actually wasn't until I saw a video by a YouTuber named Ben Eater, who I will link the video to above here, but basically in the video, he actually made his own video card. And while he was doing that, he went over a kind of specs list of the pinouts of a VGA cable. And what caught my eye was that next to the H-sync or horizontal sync, it also says C-sync, and then in parentheses it says component sync, or composite sync, sorry. And that kind of triggered something in my head. I was like, wait a minute, maybe this is VGA, just without a horizontal and vertical sync, and instead a C-sync. So that's where we are today. I am going to attempt to see if I can wire up a VGA breakout plug that I got to these pins. I have a portable DIY monitor I made, and I'm going to try and go to my car and see if I get a video signal from my car using these wirings. I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea if this will even work, but hopefully this works as a kind of filler video carryover until I can figure out the whole planning behind powering the Raspberry Pi in the car. But anyways, enough of my talk and explanation of what we're doing. Let me get to actually soldering this all up, and then I'll meet you guys back in my car where we'll just go ahead and test this. Alright, so there I have it. So I've actually soldered this on now. This was a lot more difficult than I meant it to be. I'm using like thermostat wires, so it's got 5 wires all in this sheath here. And I've got the VGA plug, and this will go onto the car, and then hopefully when I plug in a VGA onto here, we'll actually get a video signal. Hopefully I wire this all correctly. Again, it was a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be because this is a very stiff wire, and this really tested my abilities to solder, but here goes nothing, I guess. Okay, so I have what I just made plugged into the car here, so this should be all of the VGA connections. Hopefully it's all wired correctly. This will go and get plugged into the VGA that is sitting over here currently. This is an old laptop monitor that I have with hardware here. There's a video I'll link to where I got this from and how I made this. But basically it's just an old laptop monitor. It has VGA coming off of it. That'll get plugged into this here. The monitor here is being powered off the car. I have a AC adapter on here. And hopefully now when I turn the car on and plug the VGA in, nothing blows up and we should see some sort of output here on the monitor. Alright, so let me turn the car on here, and hopefully now when I plug this in, we will get something on the monitor. So the monitor is turning on. Alright, no signal. Plug the VGA in. Oh, it's doing something. Out of range? Is that what that says? I think so. None of the buttons are doing anything. Interesting, I don't know what that means. I guess let me do some Google searching real quick and I'll get back to you guys. Alright, so I just did some quick Google searching and it seems that it does work. It is VGA. The monitor is picking it up. However, it seems that the display settings that the car would send to the old head unit are just too much for the hardware I'm going to take a guess at. It doesn't support it. So it seems that I would need a different monitor that would actually support what the car is trying to give it. Unfortunately, I don't know what the display settings are that it's trying to accept. That is beyond me. I don't know if it's like trying to send like hertz, like it's going 60 hertz where this is only 30 hertz. I don't know. Again, I know nothing about the graphics sending in this. I just now figured out this is VGA. So that's some good news. The bad news is, I mean, it's VGA, great, but there's nothing I can really do with it. I mean, I guess technically I could put a different monitor in here, but this being VGA doesn't really do me any good. The Raspberry's not going to be able to utilize it at all. So cool to know, good to find out, but in the end, it's just that. So hopefully this video kind of works as like a holdover until I can figure out how to actually mount the Raspberry in here. But yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoyed. I know it's a little bit shorter video and different and not all that amazing, but again, hopefully you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys all next time. Peace out.